Croeso Pub to the planet of the discounts and games under £20 PSN sale. This is a really good sale with a load of really good quality games and some really good discounts as well. As per usual, I've gone through the sale and I found the best ones for you, so you don't have to do any of the hard work. So if you like finding some cool new games to play and saving a lot of money, don't forget to subscribe and you won't miss out on a deal again. You're welcome here anytime. This sale ends on the 28th of February, so that'll be your last day to pick up these deals. Let's look at the games. First up is 9 Monkeys of Shaolin, Ash of Gods, and Redeemer Bundle. It was released in 2022, so it's 2 years old, but the games are much older than that really, and it's on a 90% sale for the low price of £3.29, which is the cheapest I've ever seen it, and a fantastic deal for 3 indie games. This bundle includes a beat 'em up, a turn-based strategy, and a top-down beat 'em up. In the first game you get to play as a Chinese fisherman, Wei Cheng, who is avenging the death of his friends and family in merciless fights with hordes of enemies. It features 3 fighting styles, 25 levels, 10 weapons, a skill system, and 2-player offline and online co-op as well, although who knows how busy that is these days. In the second game, the Reapers have returned and are planning to drown the world in blood to awaken the slumbering gods. You play as 3 heroes destined to face this enemy, and it features an ever-changing story based on your choices and tactics, so every time you play, you get a different variation of the story, which is great. And in the third game, Vasily led a life of crime and murder, but now all he wants is to live peacefully at a monastery, but his old enemies simply won't allow this. It features brutal and bloody action to deal with the numerous enemies sent to end your retirement. You get quite a variety in this bundle, a strategy game, a beat 'em up, and an overhead action game. And if you like at least 2 of these games, then it's a really great deal. Especially if you like all 3, then it's a lot for your money, and you get a good deal. The strategy game looks really good and it's got really good reviews, and the beat 'em up looks pretty decent as well, and so does the action game. So if you're a fan of old school beat 'em ups or action games, and you like a bit of strategy, then you might want to consider this bundle. It may not be for everyone, but if you like a bit of variety and saving a lot of money, you should definitely check this out. It's a really good bundle for a really good price. And hey, if you've never played these sorts of games before, then I'm not sure I'd recommend starting here. It's a really good deal, but if you don't like all of them, or at least a couple of them, then you're stuck with a lot of games you're not going to play. So you might be better off starting with just one game instead. And if that's the case, don't forget to subscribe, and then you won't miss out in the next sale. We have a puzzle platformer next, Aspire Inner's Tale. It was released in 2022, so it's only 2 years old, and it's on an 80% discount for the low price of £1.99, which is the cheapest I've ever seen it, and a really great deal for a cool looking indie game. In this game, long ago, Inner was trapped within a living tower, left to dream for all eternity. And after suddenly awakening, you must explore the tower for a way out and speak with the spirits to discover the truth behind your imprisonment. I really like the look of this game. I like puzzle platformers, and the art style with this is really cool. I think it looks really great, and the reviews are really good as well. Almost everyone that plays this game really seems to love it, and at this price, you can't go far wrong. So if you're a fan of puzzle platformers, and you really like the look of this one as much as I do, you should definitely check this out. The story looks interesting, and I think it'll be a really fun game. So why not take a look, if you like the sound of that. And hey, if you've never played a puzzle platformer before, then this is a good place to start. It's a really good game at a really good price. But this genre, you have a ton of options, and a lot of them can be around this price, and even AAA games as well. So you've got so many options. Pick the one you like the look of really. If you like the look of the story and art style of this one, then go with this. But if not, subscribe, and I'll help you find another one in the next sale instead. Up next is my star buy, BlazBlue Cross Tag Battle Special Edition. It was released in 2019, so it's 5 years old, and it's on a 90% discount for the low price of £4.49, which is the cheapest I've ever seen it, and a fantastic deal, as this edition includes the DLC V2 content pack, 7 character packs, and 3 colour sets as well. So you get a massive amount of extra characters, and pretty much the complete package, so you can't go far wrong really. It's a really good deal. This fighter combines characters from BlazBlue with Persona 4 Arena, Under Night in Birth, and Ruby. It features a tag battle system, over 20 playable characters, not including the additional ones, extensive training tutorials, and English voice acting as well, which is great. You don't often see that in a lot of these games. Now, BlazBlue is a really big franchise from the fighting series. It's immensely popular, and it's one of the best fighting series around. So you know anything from this series is a quality game, and combined with all of the training tutorials, it's even friendly for new players as well, which is really good. It's hard to get into fighters sometimes, especially if you don't play them a lot, or you haven't played them at all. And I really like the art style as well. It's a 2D anime style and I think it looks awesome. Really good to see in motion. So if you're a fan of fighters and you haven't played a BlazBlue game before, or you're a fan of BlazBlue and you haven't played one recently, why not take a look at this? It's a really good game with a ton of extra content and it's really well worth your money. Like I said, it's my style buy. Why not take a look at it? And hey, if you've never played a fighter before, then this is a good place to start. You can get other ones cheaper, but this one's got so much content included, it's worth the money, and it's still really cheap as well. So if you're interested, why not take a look? It's a really amazing game from a really great franchise at a really good price. It's a great place to start, so why not take a look? We have a survival game next, Deadcraft Deluxe Edition. It was released in 2022, so it's 2 years old, and it's on an 80% discount for the price of £6.59, which is the cheapest I've ever seen it, and a pretty good deal, especially for a game that includes 2 extra DLC packs. It came from the Junkyard, and Jesse Wasteland wears a special costume and a resource pack as well. So again, the complete version of the game with some extras included, which is really nice. In this game, you get to survive a zombie apocalypse by growing your own zombie army and working together with others, or taking what you need with force. It features farming, crafting, base building, open world RPG mechanics, and a story as well. Now this game looks like a cross between Stardew Valley or Harvest Moon and a zombie apocalypse game, which sounds really cool to me, and if you like the sound of that, you should definitely check this out. It's a really interesting concept, the gameplay looks really fun, it's got a lot of really good reviews, and it's nice to see a refreshing new spin on the zombie apocalypse. There's so many games around with that sort of theming that you gotta do something different, and this game does that. It looks like a really cool action game with a load of good mechanics that'll make it really interesting to play. So if you're as intrigued as I am by it, why not check it out? It may be your new favourite game to play. And hey, if you've never played a survival game before, then I wouldn't recommend starting here. It's a really good game, but you can get other ones cheaper, and even AAA ones as well, so you're probably better off starting with one of them instead. So don't forget to subscribe, and then you won't miss them when they're on sale next. We have a legendary franchise next, Doom. It was released in 2016, so it's 8 years old, and is on an 80% discount for the price of £3.19, which is the cheapest I've ever seen it, and a dirt cheap price for a game of this quality. Especially as this edition now includes all 3 DLC expansions and all of the feature updates as well, so you get the complete version of the game with everything included, which is great. In this FPS, you have to fight your way through hell, slaying demon hordes in this epic reboot of a legendary game series. It features fun destructive weapons, a melee system with gore-filled attacks, and it includes 12-player online multiplayer as well, although I'm not sure how busy that is these days. Now this is from a legendary franchise from way back in the day, and when it came back, people weren't sure if it was going to hold up to it. But hey, this game, it's great. Everybody loved it when it came out, it got massively great reviews, and all in all, it honors the franchise, which when it's a franchise like this, is an amazing compliment. So if you like old school shooters that focus on combat and gameplay and have a little bit of story thrown in, then you'll really enjoy this. It's a great first person shooter that's gameplay focused and just is a lot of fun to play. So if you like the sound of that, or you just want to kill some demons, then why not take a look at this? I'm sure you'll find your new favourite game to play. And hey, if you've never played a first person shooter before, then this is a really good place to start. It's an amazing game from a legendary franchise at a really good price, so you can't ask for much more really. If you're interested in this genre, why not take a look at it? I'm sure you'll have a lot of fun. Next up, we have Injustice Gods Among Us Ultimate Edition. It was released in 2013, so it's 11 years old, and is on a 93% discount for the low price of £3.49, which is the cheapest I've ever seen it, and a fantastic deal, as this edition includes 6 extra characters of Batgirl, Lobo, Martian Manhunter, Zatanna, General Zod, and Scorpion from Mortal Kombat, plus over 30 skins, and 60 Star Labs missions as well. So again, a huge amount of extra content, and some really cool characters as well, especially Scorpion. That's a cool crossover to have in this game series. This fighter is based on the Injustice comic, and is set in a world where the good guys didn't always win, and the lines of good and evil have blurred. You must pick your fighter to battle against friend or foe, and save or doom everyone. This game series is a really good fighting series, and do you know how I know that? Because it's featured in fighting tournaments. Any fighting game that's picked up for tournaments means it's really well balanced, and a great game. So if you're into DC Comics and you like fighting games, you should definitely check this out, especially if you've never played one of them before. They're both really good, and they're at really good prices when they're on sale, so you can't go wrong really. It's definitely a better choice than buying Suicide Squad Kills the Justice League. What a train wreck that game launch has been, justifiably so as well. Stay clear from that. If you're interested, look at other games instead. There's plenty more options that are much more worth playing than that. Like this game, if you like DC, pick this up instead. You'll have a lot more fun, I promise. And hey, if you've never played a fighter before, then this is a great place to start. It's a really good AAA high budget one with a really good franchise attached. So if you're a fan of DC and you've never played a fighter before, why not take a look at this? You may find your new favourite gaming genre. Check it out. We have an anime game next, Kerawa Jet Girls. It was released in 2020, so it's 4 years old, and it's on an 80% discount for the price of £6.59, which is the cheapest I've ever seen it, and a really great deal, especially for an anime game. They don't usually discount them that much, so they don't get much cheaper than this usually. This racing game is from the creators of Senran Kagura and is set in the near future of Tokyo, where teams race high-tech jet machines through urban waterways for thrills and glory. It features time attack and online modes, plus jet and rider customization as well. So you even get to customize your racers, which is really cool. Now, jet ski racing games used to be really in fashion years ago. In the N64 and PS1 days, you used to get quite a few of them, and they were a lot of fun to play. These days they don't seem to make them anymore, which is a shame because they can be a lot of fun. So if you're a fan of racing games and you never played a jet racer, or you just like anime games, you might be interested in this. It's definitely different, and it's nice to see a different spin on the racing genre these days. So if you like the sound of that, why not take a look? I'm sure it's a lot of fun to play. And hey, if you've never played a racing game before, then I wouldn't recommend starting here. It's a lot pricier than some of the other games you can get, and you can even get AAA Legendary Game Series for a lower price than this, so you're much better off starting there instead. Unless you're really interested in an anime jet girl racing game, in which case go for it. But if not, subscribe, and you'll find a different racing game in another sale instead. We have a VR game next, Luys Tale. It was released in 2022, so it's 2 years old, and it's on a 75% discount for the price of £3.74, which is the cheapest I've ever seen it, and a really great price, especially for a VR game. You don't often see them as cheap as this, which is really cool, as this edition is remastered for modern VR with improved controls, so you're getting the best version of the game as well, which is great. In this VR platformer, you get to play as Lucky the Brave Fox, trying to rescue his friend Piggy from the tentacled monster Glorp. It features hidden secrets, boss battles, and level challenges for replayability as well. Now, you don't get to see a lot of VR platformers around. Apart from this, you pretty much only have Astrobots, which is a great game as well, but there's not a lot of competition in this genre. So if you're a fan of VR like I am, and you like your platformers, why not check it out? I'm sure I'm going to pick it up at some point, and you might just want to as well. And hey, if you've never played a VR platformer before, then definitely take a look at this. You don't have a lot of options, and this is definitely the cheapest one, and it looks like a really good game as well. So if you're interested, definitely take a look. I'm sure you'll have a lot of fun if you pick it up. Up next is Warhammer Chaos Bane Slayer Edition. It was released in 2020, so it's 4 years old, and it's on a 90% discount for the low price of £4.99, which is the cheapest I've ever seen it, and this edition includes the Tomb Kings expansion, all of the DLC content, and the new Witch Hunter character class as well. So again, the complete best version of the game, with everything included, which is brilliant. This isometric RPG is set in the old world, ravaged by war and dominated by magic. You rise up to face the Chaos Hordes head-on, and featuring 6 character classes, over 70 monsters, epic boss battles, and 4-player local and online co-op as well. So if you've got a group of friends to play with, you'll have a lot of fun with this, especially if you all like Warhammer. These days you don't see a lot of isometric RPGs, apart from, Baldur's Gate 3 that just came out and took the world by storm. But ignoring that, it's kind of a rare genre these days. You've got a couple of games that are really big in it, but outside of that, there's not a lot of other people that make games in this genre, which is a shame because it was big in the day, and it's a really good game genre, as you can see by how popular some of them are these days. So if you're a fan of Warhammer and you like isometric RPGs, definitely take a look at this. It's reviewed really well, and if you like Warhammer, I'm sure you'll really enjoy it, so why not check it out? And hey, if you've never played an isometric RPG before, then you only have a few to choose from in this sort of price range, and a lot of them are from legendary franchises, so the competition's pretty big. Pretty much what I would say is if you're a fan of Warhammer, definitely take a look at this game, but if you're not a fan of Warhammer, then you're probably better off starting in one of the other games instead. So if that's what you want, subscribe, and I'll let you know when they're on sale next, and you won't miss out. And the final game I have for you is WRC 10 Deluxe Edition PS4 and PS5. It was released in 2021, so it's 3 years old, and it's on an 80% discount for the price of £8.99, which is the cheapest I've ever seen it, and a really great deal, as this edition includes the Arena Panzerplatte Super Special Stage, the Mitsubishi Lancer Evo 5, an additional historical event, and a career starter pack as well, so you get a decent amount of extra content, which is really good. This edition of WRC includes the new 2021 rallies in Estonia, Croatia, Belgium and Spain, with 6 historical rallies, 120 special stages, 52 official teams and 20 legendary cars as well. And it even features 2-player local multiplayer and 8-player online multiplayer as well, although who knows how busy that is these days. These days you don't have a huge amount of rally games to choose from. The big hitters from the olden days are gone, and WRC is one of the biggest franchises around. It has the licensing and a load of the real world racing locations and competition events, which is great. If you're a fan of the sport, this is probably the best series to buy. And hey, you can get a lot of the older ones cheaper these days as well, so you've got a lot of options to buy into this franchise. But the bottom line is, if you're a fan of rally games and you haven't played one in a while, or you're looking to come back to this series, then why not take a look at this one? It's a good version of the game, and it's not that old either. So if you're tempted, why not take a look at it? You might find your new favourite game to play. And hey, if you've never played a rally game before, then I wouldn't recommend starting here. You can get other games from the same series cheaper if you buy older, and you can get some of the competition cheaper as well, so you're much better off starting with one of them instead. So if you like the sound of that, subscribe, and then you won't miss them when they're on sale next. And that's all the games I have for the Planet of the Discounts and games under £20 PSN sales. So the people that watch this channel a lot probably noticed the differences at the beginning, and maybe at the end. I'm not sure if I'm going to do it for both yet. Anyway, I think it's pretty obvious I've been using my new PC to mess around with some AI stuff, and I think it's going to add some extra production value to the channel. It's not too much extra work, and I think it adds a lot of value, or a lot of quality to the production anyway. What do you think? Do you like it? Do you hate it? Should I keep it? Should I dump it? Let me know. I think I like it, but we'll see how it goes and how much effort it ends up being. It's not too much more, and I don't think it'll make a difference. I think it'll easily be something I could just do with all the videos, and it won't cause me any delays or anything. And if it works out like that, it's definitely possible to stay. So let me know what you think. Anyway, what did you think of the games I picked? Did I pick good ones or did I pick bad ones? And what about the star buy? Did it deserve it? Or just some other game have got it instead? Leave any comments down below, and we can talk about it later. Anyway, I hope you found some cool games to play, but more importantly, I hope you saved a lot of money. I'll see you guys in the next sale. Au revoir.